Okay, so when I do my labels, I start with a piece of muslin and iron-on Pellon. I have a lot of strips of Pellon left over for my t-shirt quilts, and they're about the right size. And so I just get my muslin on there, make big long strips, and cut them into 5-inch squares. And this is what I have. So it's got the Pellon on the back. I don't know if you can see that with the sun behind it. Can you see it? Anyway, so that's what I start with. I always do some practice pieces. So I start with the name of my quilt, pieced by, made by, quilted by, whatever you want to put on there, my name, and the year. That's what I like to put on mine. You can put whatever you'd like. I like to have mine centered. So if I don't do a practice one, they end up like this, not centered. And I don't really like that. I like them to be centered. So this is what I like them to look like in the end. This one, I realized the name of the quilt was Spinning Squares, not Spinning Stars, so I redid that one. But this is what I like them to look like. My backing fabric for this label that I'm making is going to be this purple. And so I picked purple thread. So I've got that all threaded in here. I like an open toe foot so that I can see what I'm doing. I've measured let's see, this quilt that label I'm doing is Star Power. So I've measured that so I know where that's gonna go. And I've got my open-toed foot in here. My sewing machine, my Baby Lock, has all the stitches over here. I just have to say which stitch I want. I want to start with the where the letters are. So I'm gonna start with the name of my quilt. So I'm gonna go over here till I find the S. And I have to take the foot pedal off and just use my button on this sewing machine. I don't know what your sewing machine is going to be like, but I have the S, so I'm just going to start. And you see my sewing machine just goes kind of where I want it to go. And now I need the lowercase, and you just have to learn your sewing machine so that you know where your letters are. And the sewing machine pretty much does all of the work. I just have to make sure everything's going straight, and I can tell by my plate that I have on here, because that's kind of what I'm going by on my edge. I have to remember what letter I'm on, because if you have an embroidery machine, you can just do all of this. You can put the whole thing in, but with mine, I have to do letter by letter. And I have to remember which letter I'm on, because I've made that mistake before. And I need an R. Now I need a space, and I know where my space is. It's number 291. There's my space. And now I need to go back to the capital letters. Did I do a capital letter? Yes, I did. So capital letters, and then I need a P. And then I need a lowercase o. W. E. R. And that's my last letter for that line, so I'm going to cut my thread, and I'm going to clip that first one. So there's my first phrase. That's the name of my quilt. Now I'm going to put, I don't know who's going to quilt this, so I'm just going to put pieced by on this, and I think I've measured that so that it's this, I think it's going to be the same. Yes, I think it's the same, so I'm going to start with that at the same place on my stitch plate, but I'm going to go down so that my foot is lined up right underneath of that first line, and that's what I'm going to go by to keep it straight. And the back of my stitch plate is going to be in the same place, so that's going to work out good. And let's see, I'm going to do a capital P. Whoops, I got to go this way. Oops, too far. Okay. Lowercase I. E. And you have to remember how to spell things. Don't make any spelling mistakes. C. E. E. And I need another space. And back to the thread, and I'm going to clip this. So now I need my name, and I think, if I remember right, my name is just a little bit bigger, so I'm going to start out, and now this is not going to be exact, but I have to go out just a little bit farther this way, and I'm going to start with my capital G. If you have an embroidery machine like Joe, you just put what you want and have the whole thing done, but I have to go letter by letter. And I need another space. And almost have it. my thread. We're almost done. Now I know that the year has to go underneath of the W. And my numbers are over here. Does that seem right? Sometimes I forget and put 2023 instead of 2024, but okay, and then sometimes I put a decorative, sometimes I put a little decorative thing for my, oops, so let me just do that. I'll put a couple of spaces, and then sometimes I like a little decorative stitch, so I'm going to do a little heart. And there is my label. I don't know if I got centered on there or not. If I was taking my more time, I might have got that heart in the right spot, but there's my label. And it's letter by letter, number by number. It's a little time consuming. If you have a better machine that does it faster for you, then fine. If you just have a simple machine, but it has letters on it, you can always make your own label.